You're standing in a hangar in a country that isn't on most people's maps, watching 300 men load onto unmarked planes. They don't wear a flag, neither do you. There's no national anthem here, no oath to a country, no medals that mean anything. Every man in this hangar fights for one thing, and one thing only, the number on a contract. A government you'll never name is paying your company more money than some nations have, to do the thing their own army can't be seen doing: win their war, quietly, deniably. And if any of these men die today, no flag-draped coffin goes home, no president makes a speech, they simply stop appearing on the payroll. This isn't an army, it's a business. War is the product, and business is very, very good. This is your life inside a private military empire, from the desperate man at the bottom to the one who owns it all. You don't join a private military company because you're patriotic. You join because you're out of options. Maybe your country's army discharged you, and the civilian world has no use for the only skills you have. Maybe you served somewhere that left scars no employer wants to look at. Maybe you just need money, real money, the kind a normal job will never pay, and you're willing to risk everything to get it. You find them the way everyone does: a word from an old army buddy, a name passed quietly, a website that says almost nothing. You send your military record, you wait. When the call comes, the pitch is simple and honest in a way no recruiter ever is. We don't care about your feelings. We care about whether you can do the job. Do it, and we'll pay you more in a month than you made in a year. Fail, and you're gone, if you're lucky enough to still be breathing. You say yes, because yes is the only word that pays. You arrive at a training facility that looks nothing like a military base. No parade ground, no flags, just ranges, vehicles, and instructors who clearly killed people and don't care if you know it. They don't waste time turning you into a soldier. They assume you already are one. Instead, they test whether you're the kind they can use. Can you follow orders without asking who you're really working for? Can you operate in a place with no rules, no oversight, no court that will ever judge what you do? Can you keep your mouth shut forever about everything you see? The ones who need to feel righteous wash out fast. The ones who ask too many questions are quietly let go. They keep the ones who understand the deal. You're not here to be a hero. You're here to do a job and get paid. You sign contracts thicker than any you've ever seen, pages of clauses about deniability, about silence, about what happens to you and your family if you ever talk. You sign them all. The money is too good not to. You get your assignment. A war on the other side of the world that you'll fight for reasons that have nothing to do with you. Your first deployment. A conflict zone where your company has been hired to do what someone's official army won't. And here's the first hard truth. You're better equipped than most national armies. Better weapons, better gear, better pay. The company spares no expense, because every operator is an investment, and investments that die don't generate returns. You're not cannon fodder, you're expensive, and the company protects its assets. But you're also completely alone in a way a real soldier never is. No nation stands behind you. If you're captured, no government negotiates your release. If you're killed, no honors await. You exist in a gap in the law, a fighter with no flag, accountable to no one but the contract. You do the work, you secure the oil field, you protect the convoy, you take the town. The reasons don't matter to you anymore. The mission and the money do. And slowly, you stop thinking like a soldier and start thinking like what you've become. A professional, in the coldest sense of the word. The first time you realize you feel nothing about it, that's the moment the company truly owns you. You survived long enough and performed well enough that they give you men of your own. 8 operators. Their lives now are partly your responsibility. This is where the money gets serious, and so does the weight. You're paid like an executive now, but every decision you make can cost a life that costs the company a fortune to replace. You plan the operations, you choose the routes, you decide who goes through the door first. Your team isn't bound together by a flag or a brotherhood of nation. They're bound by money and by you. You learn that loyalty in this world is real, but it's a different kind of loyalty, earned through competence, through bringing men home, through making sure the contracts get paid. Lead well, and they'd follow you into anything. Led badly, and they'll simply sign with another company. You take a contract in a collapsing country where the lines between sides shift daily. You bring all 8 men home. The client is satisfied. The invoice is paid. And you understand now that you're not just a fighter anymore. You're a manager of violence, and you're good at it. Now you don't run a team, you run a campaign. Hundreds of men under your command deployed across an entire conflict. You've stopped carrying a rifle into rooms. You carry a satellite phone and a budget. You coordinate with clients who wear suits and speak in euphemisms. They never say win our war. They say stabilize the region or secure our interests. You translate their polite language into operations and operations into results. You learn that running a private army is mostly logistics and money. Weapons have to be bought, often through channels no one will admit exist. Men have to be paid, fed, moved across borders. Local fighters have to be hired, and they may switch sides for a better offer at any moment. You manage all of it, balancing the client's demands against the cost in lives and money. You sit across from government officials who can never publicly admit they hired you. You're their secret, the thing they use to do what their own forces, legally, politically, cannot. The deniability is the entire point. If it all goes wrong, they'll deny you ever existed, and your contract has a clause that says you'll let them. You're off the battlefield entirely now. You sit on the board of the company itself. The men in the field are a line item to you now, a cost, a capability, a number on a spreadsheet. You think in contracts worth hundreds of millions. You decide which wars the company will fight in, which governments it will work for, which clients are worth the risk, and which will get you all arrested or killed. You navigate a world most people don't know exists. A global market where violence is a service, and your company is a premium provider. Nations bid for your men. Corporations hire you to protect assets in places no insurance company will touch. Sometimes the clients are governments everyone respects. Sometimes the governments no one will admit to dealing with. The money spends the same either way. You make decisions that shape real wars in real countries, and your name appears on no treaty, no news report, no official record. You're a private citizen who quietly commands more firepower than most of the world's actual armies, and almost no one knows you exist. At this level, you've transcended the company. You don't just provide soldiers, you shape outcomes. Governments come to you not just to hire men, but for your judgment. Which faction will win? Where should they place their bets? You know, because you have men on every side of half the world's conflicts. You hold information that intelligence agencies would kill for because your operators are in the rooms and on the ground in places no spy can reach. You begin to do something far more dangerous than fighting wars. You begin to influence which ones happen. A word in the right ear. A contract accepted or declined. A quiet suggestion to a desperate client. You're no longer just a businessman serving demand. You're starting to shape the demand itself. This is the level where men like you become genuinely dangerous to the world because you answer to no voter, no constitution, no court. You have the power of a nation and the accountability of a private individual. And the only thing guiding your hand is the same thing that guided it on day one in that first phone call. The money. You own it now, the whole empire, tens of thousands of men, bases in countries that deny you're there, a fleet of aircraft, ships, weapons that rival a mid-sized nation's military. You are in every way that matters except the legal one, the head of a private state. You have your own foreign policy, your own army, your own intelligence service. You meet with presidents and kings as something close to an equal because they need what you have and you can take it elsewhere if they don't pay. But you become something with no name in the old world. Not a soldier, not a general, not a citizen of anywhere in particular. You're the embodiment of a truth that powerful people prefer to keep quiet, that war has been quietly privatized, that violence can be bought wholesale, and that the men who own it answer to no one. You sleep in a different country every week. You trust no one because everyone around you is loyal to your money, and money is loyal to no one. You built an empire and discovered, the way empire builders always do, that the throne is the loneliest seat there is. There's no retirement party for a man like you. Men like you don't retire. They exit, quietly, before the world catches up with them. Maybe you sell the empire to someone hungrier. Maybe you vanish into a fortress in a country with no extradition treaty. Maybe you simply become so wealthy and so well hidden that no court, no nation, no journalist can ever reach you. You move to somewhere quiet and beautiful, bought with money from wars most people never heard of. You have everything money can buy and nothing it can't. The men who fought for you are scattered across the world or buried in unmarked ground. The clients you needed you have moved on to whoever provides the service now. Your name is in no history book, on no monument, and no record that will ever be unsealed, because there was never an official record to begin with. You sit in your beautiful quiet place, and you count not your money, but the cost. The men who didn't come home, the wars you stretched a little longer because the contract was good, the line you crossed, somewhere back near the beginning when you stopped feeling anything at all. That was the trade. That was always the trade. Somewhere tonight, a man sits in a cheap apartment with a military record no employer will touch, and a stack of bills he can't pay. He's good at one thing, the thing the world trained him to do and then discarded him for. He's heard there's a company, no flag, no questions, pays more in a month than he's made in a year. He's heard you just have to be willing to do the work and keep your mouth shut. He's imagining the money, the escape, the second chance. He has no idea about the gap in the law where he'll live, the things he'll do that no court will ever judge, the way this work hollows you out and replaces what's missing with a number. But he'll learn. They always do. He picks up the phone and dials a number a friend gave him quietly, and the cycle begins again.